everyone, what is up? It's Pauline. Welcome back to my channel. Hi, happy Tuesday. How are you? Yes, I'm sitting here bald-headed with just my contacts in. I've just prepped my skin. I am going to be getting into a bit of a Halloween look while we start talking about some of the drama that is going on right now, because there is a lot of drama popping off in the beauty community of all places. I mean, yeah, you know, we thought the beauty community was dying. We thought the beauty community was calming down, but oh no, girl. There is some drama popping off with quite a few influencers surrounding James Charles right now. James Charles, of course, had that whole scandal in 2020 and also early 2021 where he was involved with sexting minors. Now, of course, everybody already knows all about all of that, so I'm not going to be getting into that. But we are going to be getting into some things that have come out since, because honestly, there is so much popping off with some of the influencers surrounding James who still follow James and all of that drama. So stay tuned. But yes, please do bear with me. My sound is kind of janky, kind of off at the moment. My phone is going through it. I'm sorry. I have said this in previous videos, but it isn't getting any better. So once again, I do have to mention it. So if you are new here and you think, oh my god, what is up with their audio? Well, that's what's up. My phone is broken, so I'm just having to kind of do what I can with what I've got right now. So we've got some primer down. I'm just going to start with some color corrector while we get into this mess, because this mess, whoo, girl, it's kind of smoking, honestly. I mean, some of it is older drama, which we'll get into in a moment, but you'll see why. You will see. I mean, okay. So, let's start with Manny MUA. Recently, Manny MUA has been called out for his support of James Charles when James Charles released his new cafe collection merch. You know, those kind of fleecy jackets that he named after types of coffee. Well, James Charles was sharing Manny MUA on his story where Manny MUA had promoted James's merch, saying, oh wow, this is really cute, you know. So of course some people started talking about that, and one of the people that started talking about it was me in a video, and also drama channel Dustin Daily. Now Dustin Daily put out a tweet saying, what do you think of Manny MUA still supporting James Charles? Somebody who replied to Dustin Daily's tweet was OG beauty YouTuber and founder of Makeup Geek, Marlena Stell. So after Dustin Daily asked about Manny MUA and how people felt about Manny MUA supporting James Charles with his merch and everything, and Marlena Stell, of course, replying to that, I actually made a video just before I saw that Marlena had replied to it, talking about how I was kind of disgusted that Manny MUA was supporting James because of everything that James Charles has done. But since then, more influencers have come out in support of James. People such as Gigi Gorgeous, Patrick Starr, Nats Getty, you know, they've all come out in support of James. They're all posting pictures with James on their Instagram. Also, there was a drag show the other day, which I did see on IG stories. It was like a kind of, I think, a Rue Girl drag show. And I saw Patrick Starr was there, Gigi Gorgeous was there, Nats Getty was there, Gottmik was performing. And we all know that James Charles is friends with Gottmik, of course. So is Gigi Gorgeous and Nats Getty. So they had a night out at a drag show. Patrick Starr was there. Patrick Starr was sitting 2 rows in front of James Charles, and he's storying on his IG, oh look, I'm 2 rows in front of James Charles, I'm 2 rows better than James Charles, kind of thing. So they were all there together, messing around, you know, so it's clear that they all still, you know, socialise in the same circles and support each other in that way. They all still follow each other on Instagram. So to them, what James Charles did seems to be of no bearing, no importance. They just don't care that what James Charles did was illegal and wrong and all the rest of it. So moving on from that, we're going to go back to Manny MUA and Laura Lee's full coverage podcast from last Friday, the one that just went up on Friday. Now, in that podcast, there was a segment, a little bit, where Manny MUA was talking about Harry Jowsey calling James Charles the F-slur. I made a video about that, but also later on in the podcast, Manny MUA was talking about a collab that he'd had with a makeup brand who, well, he was offered a collab with a makeup brand who were allegedly supposed to be collaborating with Patrick Starr. He didn't say any of the names in this portion of the podcast, but it was clear that he was talking about Patrick Starr, who was supposed to have a collaboration with makeup geek Marlena Stell. So Manny was talking about how this company, this brand, had kind of, shafted him by coming to him and saying, okay, well, we had this collaboration that we were going to do with an influencer, but it didn't work out, or the influencer pulled out. So they then offered this collaboration to Manny MUA. Now, Manny MUA said that he'd collaborated with the brand before, and Manny MUA has collaborated with Makeup Geek in the past. So Makeup Geek offered Manny MUA this second collaboration, but allegedly said to Manny, oh, well, we've got some of the shades and everything ready to go for this collab because we were going to do it with another influencer. So then Manny MUA talked about how this brand, Makeup Geek, allegedly shopped this collaboration around to some other influencers at the time. So that could have been people like Jaclyn Hill. We all know Jaclyn Hill is famous for collaborating with Morphe, but at the time, Manny MUA and Patrick Starr, all those kind of people, they were really big influencers in the beauty space at that time. So on the Full Coverage podcast, Manny MUA was fully throwing shade at Marlena Stell and Makeup Geek because he wasn't their first choice of this collab, and because if he went ahead with the collab, he would have had to use some shades that the previous influencer who was offered this collab was, working on. So Manny went into a bit of detail about that on the podcast. That was one thing, shading Marlena Stell in the process. Now, of course, if you know anything about Marlena Stell, then you might know that she had a documentary with Netflix. It turned out to be like a one-off special, I think, that was about the inside of the beauty community. It was about the beauty industry rather than the actual beauty community. I watched it. It was very good. I watched that at the time it came out. And honestly, if you remember, there was, at the time when this happened, there was a lot of beef between Marlena Stell and James Charles. Now, Marlena Stell, having also worked with Manny MUA and Jaclyn Hill in the past, Marlena Stell has spoken out about how she kind of helped both of them. How she helped Manny MUA with things like lighting and stuff. There are clips of this on the internet. You guys can find it. So Manny MUA has had this history with Marlena Stell, shaded Marlena last Friday. And then we're going to go back to 2018 when Marlena Stell was making this Netflix special, because Marlena tweeted about this Netflix special that she was making about beauty industry behind the scenes. She tweeted out about it. I've got the receipt, I'll pop it in here. And then who popped off when Marlena Stell said she was doing something with Netflix? Of course, it was James Charles. James Charles popped the F off. He didn't like it that Marlena Stell had this collaboration with Netflix. He thought he should have it. At the time, James Charles was 21 years old. So he thought that he should have this collaboration with Netflix. Marlena clapped back to James at the time saying, but James, you don't actually know anything about producing makeup, because at the time, of course, Marlena had her Makeup Geek brand. She was one of the OGs. James Charles was a 21-year-old beauty influencer without his own brand, so he didn't even have his Morphe collaboration back then, I think. I think this was just before he had his Morphe collaboration, actually. But Marlena Stell clapped back to James, popping off at her because she had this Netflix collaboration. And then Marlena Stell clapped back to James, you're only 21, you don't have a makeup brand. all that drama, you know. And then James Charles said something to the tone of, this woman doesn't, you know, isn't going to be fair, isn't going to show the real kind of thing behind the scenes of the beauty industry, blah, blah, blah. And it was James just popping off, being arrogant, because, as I said, he thought that he should have had this Netflix collaboration rather than Marlena Stell. Marlena Stell spoke to James on Twitter and she said, well, actually, Netflix approached me. You know, Netflix approached me. I didn't approach Netflix to do this documentary, this collaboration with them. So James was all in a huff about that at the time, really popping off at Marlena. Now, everybody was kind of on Marlena's side at the time with this because James was just being a mouthy brat, basically. But now, this Friday, of course, Manny has shaded Marlena once again and has been very vocal about supporting James Charles, his support of James Charles. So now people are just kind of starting to say, well, hang on a minute, let's look at what's going on here. Manny is being very vocal about supporting James, yet if you look at it in the past, James has been misogynistic towards Marlena Stell over the Netflix collaboration. James has done things like sexting minors. He's had that whole 2019 scandal. So there's really been a lot that James Charles has done that is super problematic. Now what we're seeing is these other beauty influencers, like I said, Patrick Star, Manny MUA, and also YouTubers like Gigi Gorgeous, Nat Sketty, you know, Gottmik, who is, of course, a drag artist who was on RuPaul's Drag Race. All these people are still continuing to support James. And it's just like they don't give two Fs about anything that James has done. You're wondering what I'm doing, by the way, with this green all over my face. I'm trying to do an alphabet look on my face today for a Halloween look. So that's why I've painted my face with all this green. But we're going to get into some highlights, contours, also do the eyes, all that jazz. But yeah, let me know what you think about all this drama with Marlena Stell now in the present day saying that she's disappointed in Manny MUA for his support of James Charles. Also, recently, Marlena Stell spoke out about the beauty community and about how it's moved over to TikTok, about how what James Charles has done is a serious thing. So I'm going to pop these tweets in here and we're going to go through them.
So Marlena wrote, the last couple of years I thought the beauty space was getting better as far as focusing on the makeup and being fun, but still so disappointed that actual child predators are being given passes and praised. Just no better word to describe the feeling other than just disappointed. Then she went on to say, this is beyond just stupid mistakes that we all have made in our lifetimes, but it is actual criminal behaviour that is a pattern. Not a one-time mistake, but several incidents involving children. If this behaviour was done by a woman or a POC, there would be torches lit and fires set. But because it's a white male, then all is forgiven. The whole thing is gross.
Okay, so I don't know what you guys think about all of this, but I am absolutely Team Marlena on this one. Abso-fucking-lutely. You know, I think that Marlena is right to say everything that she said on Twitter the other day. I fully agree with her in all this. Honestly, it is just disgusting to see James Charles not only getting away with what he did, but also all of the influencers, Patrick Star, Nat Sketty, Gigi Gorgeous, Manny MUA, Laura Lee, etc., etc., all still supporting James Charles and just not giving two Fs about the whole thing. Sorry, excuse me, I'm just trying to blend in my highlight here while I'm talking to you. But yeah, I think this is absolutely disgusting, you know, to have people like Nat Sketty, Patrick Star, Gigi Gorgeous, Gottmik, all of them, all just fully still supporting James Charles, as well as Manny MUA and Laura Lee. I think is gross. I think it's disgusting, you know. I don't think we need this kind of crap in the beauty space. You know, I'm fully with Marlena. Fully Team Marlena on this one. Abso-fucking-lutely. You know, no two ways about it. You know, yeah, you know, maybe the whole beauty space is moving over to TikTok more than YouTube now. But, you know, there are still a lot of smaller creators on YouTube. There are still a lot of smaller artists on YouTube who are doing their thing and who come for the makeup, who don't come for all of this fuckery, you know. So let me know all your guys' thoughts and opinions on everything in this video. I'm gonna stop this one right here. I'm gonna say take care, stay safe, stay well. I'm gonna go work on my look, do my finished alphabet, and I will make some TikToks and stuff, you know. Being as hey, that's where the beauty space is right now. So I'm going to say love you all so much. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you as well for bearing with my dodgy sound in this video. But yeah, let me know all your thoughts, opinions, comments down below. My comments are always open. Love you guys. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.